Hello and welcome to my channel. Hi, I'm Christine Crowell, and today I want to talk about Elon Musk, the world's richest man in the world. Now, how did this happen in such a short space of time? And before it was Facebook, Zuckerman, Bill Gates to begin with. Then we got Jeff Bezos, and then there was the another billionaire who was the richest man in the world. Then suddenly, it's now become that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. And today's video, in this live, I'm going to be going through some of the history of where he's come from and where he is now. Now, this is a man that is almost went bankrupt, for example. And, at the end of the day, when we're going through recession, these things do happen, for example. This man also received, whilst he was very wealthy, stimulus checks in the States, for example. How is that even possible? I'm going to go through some of the history, and believe me, I am not for Elon Musk at all. But what I want to talk about is how he's able to win all of these contracts that has made him the richest man in the world. Because he has used a strategy which if you are looking at going into contracts, then maybe this is something you need to look at doing. And I've mentioned this, that we can apply for contracts, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, how can I say it, workforce related. You can provide other lower value contracts which will add up into a substantial amount of money. Okay, so good evening everyone, and welcome to the live. And today I want to be diving into Elon Musk, how he ascended to this position of being the world's richest man. I'm going to be exploring with you how he leveraged on government contracts and how he positioned himself within a political landscape, which no one has done this. And I'm going to discuss with you his recent role in assessing US government expenditures. So let's get started. But first of all, I want to say, if that was any of us that was applying for a contract, it clearly states that you're not allowed to have a relationship or be related or have special background knowledge of a particular contract. Well, it seems that Elon Musk has broken all of those rules to do with contracting with a government agency. And this is what really did baffle me as to how he was able to do this. And I know how he was able to do that, and I think we all do, for example. But like I said, I believe that there's this agenda that is there to tear us apart, separating us so that he can be behind the scenes, getting all of the cash. And I'm saying it like that because that is how he is operating. He's distracting you. You're being distracted from applying for contracts which you're entitled to. So he's getting all of the lion's share, and he's attacking all of the big organizations, literally attacking them, getting rid of them. He's even now challenging NASA. He wants what they've got. All the things that we've known for all of these years, all these things that have been built for all of these years are being pushed to one side in the name of what? Greed. But also what I want to say is that the contracts that he's applied for, why is he not being audited? Doge is auditing other agencies, but why is Elon Musk and his agencies, his organizations, why are they not being audited like everyone else is? I feel like I'm in the twilight zone when I listen to this situation. And I believe it's going to affect the world. It is affecting the world because tariffs are being placed on countries. It's kind of like, if you're not in my gang, then I think it's a form of bullying, to tell you the truth. There's no other way that I can really say it. There's other ways I can say it, yes. But today, what I want to do is I want to show you how you can start applying for these contracts. This is what's happening is a massive distraction. And whilst everyone is distracted, he is just raking it in, left, right and centre. He's creating disharmony in the world. And Trump is as well. You may agree, you may not agree. But from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from people, what they're saying, and what I'm seeing is showing me this. And then when I go into more deeper as to the Doge, for example, the IT people, it just lets me see that I believe it's to do with applying for as many contracts as possible whilst the world is in turmoil, whilst the world is fighting, whilst the world is having these meetings, whilst the world is going to court to try and get him out and stop him and things like that. It's a distraction so that he can keep applying and seeing what other companies that have got contracts, what they're paying, how much are they getting, what is the profit margin, how can he benefit from it. So I want you to really be focused on, if you're a business owner, for example, to be focused on applying for these contracts, for example, because you're entitled to apply for contracts. Now, I'm not saying apply for the big contracts like what Elon Musk has done and is doing today. I'm saying go for the lower value contracts and do one and get that one, get it under your belt, and then you do another one 3 months later, 4 months later. And then by the end of the year, if you're in America, you would have possibly have gotten 3 contracts, for example. Okay, but I'm going to talk to you about Elon Musk, and I want us to get started. So, number one, the power of government contracts, right? So imagine Elon Musk is a wealthy person, an individual, significantly tied to companies, which is securing substantial government contracts. That's all his focus is. You know, this is a man that has been sleeping in his office, working flat out, non-stop, probably only sleeping for 4 hours, and then he's working on his business and working on how he can get more contracts and what he's missing out on, how he can keep being the world's richest man. It must be quite stressful to have that pressure that you've got to keep moving and you don't get to stop because you want to keep that title of the world's richest man in the world. So I'm going to go break this down to you, for example. So with government contracts like SpaceX, for example, he's been awarded 17 billion in federal contracts since 2015, with a noticeable increase during the Biden administration in 2024. Now, SpaceX received 3.7 billion in federal contracts. Now, these deals have been pivoted in funding projects like Falcon, Starship rockets, as well as Starlink satellite, for example. So Tesla, for example, which is owned by Musk, for example, the electronic vehicle company, has also benefited from government support. The company received 465 million loan from the Department of Energy in its early days. And yes, he repaid it back early. But Tesla capitalized on various tax incentives and credits aimed to promoting clean energy and electric vehicles. Now, he's now in a political positioning and influence with Trump, isn't he? President Trump, for example. So think about this. Musk has strategically positioned himself within the political arena, and this happened November 2024 when President Trump was appointed. So he's really placed himself in a good position. He already knew, and probably President Trump knew what they were going to do as soon as they got in. That's why President Trump was like, on day one, he didn't even go to sleep and rest, it straight away in the office and started signing. It was planned. There was a strategic, like if someone was doing social media, they would have a social media calendar of what they're going to post for the month. He knew what he was doing on day one. He had the list ready for the month. So the newly established Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, for example, this role grants Musk significant influence over federal spending and regulatory policies. Now, their mission is to streamline government operations, reduce bureaucracy, and cut unnecessary expenditure. Under Musk's leadership, the department, they have proposed eliminating the agencies like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and also restructuring major financial regulatory bodies. Why? Why do you think that is? He wants to know every little bit so he knows how much he can suck from the government. So these actions, they align with what Musk's vision of efficiency is, but it opens up avenues for private companies, privatization, including his own company, to take on roles traditionally managed by the government. He wants it all to be privately owned. So Musk's influence isn't without this controversy. His aggressive cost-cutting measures have led to protests that have raised concerns about the potential conflicts of interest. And there is a conflict of interest. There's no potential, there is. Because he's there in the government and he's applied for contracts. And he was given one just last week, for example, for between 300 to 400 million. I think I put here 400 million, for example. He was given that contract. And yet he's in the government, he's in the Oval Office talking on behalf of the president about finance. Now, I know I've seen it many of times. Do you have any relationship with a government organization or the person that you're looking to contract with? There should be no relationship there. So, even though despite the criticisms, Musk's approach has been undeniably positioned, and he has benefited from this privatization of certain government functions by assessing and reducing the government expenditures in this way. These opportunities have arisen for private enterprises to fill the void, which is Musk's void. His companies want to fill that void. He wants to be the leader of this. But I believe that there were other people involved in this, but it seems to be all Musk that is getting all of these things. So, looking at Musk's entrepreneurship, drive, and political influence, it does suggest that he continues to play a pivotal role in shaping both the private and the public sector. His ability to navigate and intervene where these spheres have been cornerstoned of his journey to becoming the world's richest person. Now, what is the world's richest person? If he's allowed to keep applying for all of these contracts and he knows what everybody is paying, so of course he's going to win because he knows what the price is. But also, he's also using AI and the algorithms. So there is he is being questioned about whether he's been using this to get contracts. And he has. He must have done. Because again, that would be an unfair advantage. Because you should state, if you are using AI, you should state, yes, I'm using AI, and this is the percentage that I'm using, and it was regarding section 7 of paragraph 3, for example. But I bet you didn't do that. So, Elon Musk is dancing between business and politics. And he continues to influence direction of technology and the government policy. But he also has an impact on the global stage that we see, and it remains profound. It worries me because he can incite racism, he can incite hatred, and it's a huge shame that this is happening and that he's allowed to get away with this over and over again. And I'm going to put the references here in this description when the video is finished, from where I'm getting my information from. because he is the world's richest man, I believe, because he's been in the position to be able to do that. He's been in the position whereby he knows everything in the department, the State Department of US. He's got everybody's information at his hands. He's got the financial information at his hands. That's why he's able to win these contracts above other people. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And I'm going to continue here. You can drop something in the chat as well. So I'm going to go through Elon Musk's journey and his AI strategy. Okay. So Elon Musk, he really had a love for technology from what I've been reading, for example, from an early age. He created and he sold a video game. This man owned PayPal and sold it as well. So although he went to the University of Pennsylvania, for example, but he attended the university earning degrees in both physics and economics. That is his strength. And that's why he's able to create these things that are remarkable. And I'm not saying that we should apply for those types of contracts because it may be very technical, for example, but you can apply for other contracts. You know, just because he's applying for these bigger contracts doesn't mean to say you can't apply for something which is, 1 million to 5 million, for example. Like I said, start off small. Even if there's a contract that is for 100,000 for the year, apply for it. Do multiple ones like that, because that's what I did when I first started over 35 years ago, for example. So you can apply for contracts, but look at the lower value contracts. The low hanging fruit, go for those ones. So Musk's career, he started off with a software company offering business directory and maps. He sold this for nearly 300 million. And this was really the beginning of his journey into the world of tech. He then ventured into X.com. Eventually it became PayPal that we all know, transforming online payments forever, changing the e-commerce landscape, and then success is monumental. And it was the next best thing that truly captured the world's attention. Then from there, Musk ventured into SpaceX and electric vehicles. And we all know them today. And it's taken him to new heights. Now this man, Musk, didn't rest very well. He was just focusing on business. He would sleep in his office. But he has kind of like a twisted thing here. He says that his vision is to make humanity a multi-planetary species and to push the boundaries of sustainable energy. He wants to have some sort of where we fly, well, I don't know whether he means we, but where he flies and the people he probably chooses flies to this new planet and to gut it and rebuild it, like building a house, doing a renovation, but a space renovation. I don't know, I'm just saying. But that is something really far-fetched at the moment, but I believe that's what is working towards. So he uses one of the most powerfulest tools which we know, artificial intelligence, AI, and has done so for a number of years. I believe he was in partnership with Open AI, but then they separated some time ago. And now they're not very great friends, for example. So AI, it really became his backbone for his ventures, from his self-driving cars to the cutting edge of AI technology, AI-powered rockets, all of these things. Musk has leveraged AI in ways most could only dream of. But his brain-computer interface company aims to harness AI to revolutionize human cognition. So I'm just explaining where he is and how he's getting there to where he is today, for example. So his ability to leverage AI to win high value contracts, which I believe that that's what happened. SpaceX, for example, uses sophisticated AI algorithm to optimize rocket launches and missions. Now, he could do the same thing when he's applying for contracts. It would be like easy for him to win those contracts. And the technology has allowed Elon Musk companies to secure lucrative government and private contracts, pushing his ventures ahead of the competitors. So his AI-driven contracts have become a game changer, not only to driving efficiency, but unlocking new opportunities for growth with AI at his disposal. Musk isn't just making money, he's looking at reshaping entire industries. We can see this with what he's doing to the US State Department. He's looking to reshape it. That's why all of those people have lost their jobs or they're waiting around, even though the judge has put a halt on that. But it must be very unsettling for them. Very. So his achievements, they've come with controversy. His bold moves, unconventional leadership style, and his outspoken personality, it sparked debates around the world, understandably. Look, he was in the Oval Office saying, when he was questioned about something, and he said, look, you can't, basically he said, you can't believe everything I say. Sometimes I'm going to say stuff that's wrong, and yeah, it's right for you to correct me. Move on. Why say it in the first place if it's not right? Why make up stories? So, when you apply for contracts, and if you give false information, for example, that can disqualify you from a contract. So you know what's right and you know what's wrong. You know when you're saying something incorrect. And you know when you've possibly made a mistake or you've forgotten something. But I believe he knows what he's saying. So for him to come out with that didn't make sense to what I was hearing. So let's look at the impact of the future of technology and society. Now, Elon Musk, is at the top right now. But how unique is his combination of AI, innovation, and relentlessness, ambition? This did reshape the business landscape, and his story offers invaluable lessons for all entrepreneurs like you and innovators alike to apply for contracts. Don't let that stop you. Apply for them. Look at what contracts you can apply for now that will help you to learn about contracting. Start with the small ones first. Like, you could even provide gloves. Watch my other videos here. I've got some playlists here as well for you to look at, because you're able to do and apply for contracts just the same as what Elon Musk is doing. But I don't want you to be distracted by what is happening in the media. Yes, listen and be aware of it, but don't let it stop you from applying for contracts that you're entitled to apply for, because he wants you to be stagnant and just watch him while he takes over. That's what I believe he wants. And we don't want him to have so much power, because he's got power over the government, the US government. He has got massive power there. And he whatever contract he applies for, he gets it. I haven't heard that he's lost any contracts. If anyone can tell me, please do. But it seems that he applies for contracts. Hi, Mohammed. He applies for contracts and he gets them. He gets them. He knows what they're looking for. He uses AI to apply for these contracts and gets them. But he's not being questioned about what percentage has he used to apply for contracts. When we apply for contracts, right, we have to say how much percentage is being used as AI. In the UK, we're not really using AI to apply for contracts. We can use AI to help us look for the contracts that we previously did that was successful, and AI can pull it up and say, yeah, this one relates to this question and you answered it before. This has got a good scoring criteria, so this should meet this need, for example. But it just seems that with Musk owning so many contracts, this is why he's the richest man in the world, because he's applying for all of these contracts. And he's now after, he wants the NASA, he's after auditing them. He's after auditing all of these big organizations, but yet he hasn't been audited. Why is that? Why is there no mention that Musk has been audited and that this is the findings from this audit? We haven't seen that. We haven't heard that he's been audited, but yet all the other agencies have been audited. We see in the UK, because apparently Trump and Keir Starmer are going to meet in a couple of weeks' time. I dread to think what that conversation's going to be about. And then you've got Elon Musk, friends with Nigel Farage, UK reform, I believe it is. I mean, I live in Cyprus, so but I do have family in UK and in America. It's a bit concerning, really, that this is happening in today's world, that someone who's only been in power for a few months is basically turning the world upside down, and also trying to create separation. And this is why I was saying to you that you must create your community, build your community. You can also look at relationships in your community. Remember years ago how we used to make things in our own gardens? When I say make things, I mean vegetables, fruit, for example. Remember we used to, even in the UK, we'd have allotments. We'd go to allotments and, you'd know someone that's got an allotment and they'd give you vegetables or whatever, and you give them a little bit of money for it. I've had allotments in the UK. I've had 2 allotments, for example. And I grew things in my garden as well, because things are going up. They're going up. And the more tariffs that get put on, the more prices things will go up. So if you have got garden space, you better get down to the garden center and buy yourself some seeds and things like that and start planting. You can get like potatoes, even old potatoes, put them in soil, or even a pot with soil, dig them, push them in deeply, and they'll create more potatoes for you. Plant some carrots. Plant some tomatoes. Let's get back to basics. We're relying too much. I mean, bless the poor farmers, what they're going through right now. Some of them, their food, their stock is being held because it can't be exported because of the tariffs. Visit your local farm if you can do. My father used to take us every Thursday, me and my brother, my twin brother, when we were kids. He used to take us to the farm every single week. My dad didn't take us to the supermarket. He took us to the farms, and we would buy from the farms, from the local farm shop. You go to the farm and get your vegetables, get your meat from the farm shop, because the stuff in the supermarket, you get it fresh. It's a lot better for us as well. But support your local farm. Go to your farm, find out where your farm is, and buy some potatoes, carrots, and whatever, for example, and buy from them instead. Because with these tariffs and these exports, things are just going to keep going up and up. You can see it when you go to the supermarket. How much do you spend in a week? See how much that would cost if you went to your local farm and brought from the farm itself. And you're supporting your local farm. Wherever you are in the world, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in America, find out where your farms are and see if they've got a farm shop, or whether they'd sell you their produce that they've got. And then you go there every week. You might pay slightly a bit more, or you might even pay less with the way prices are today. Think about it. Get back to basics, because with these tariff wars, it's like Donald Trump. He thinks he's back in The Apprentice. Instead of saying you're fired, is saying you're tariffed instead. So check out your local farm shop, please, and buy food from your local farm shop. At least you know where it's come from as well. And think about it. This is the reason why Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, because he has got contracts from governments. And they've paid him subsidiaries. He even got a stimulus check. This is a billionaire. Got a stimulus check? That's very unusual. I just want you to really look at what you can do and what you can achieve. And I know that you can achieve so much. But don't let what you see in the news take over your life and put you in fear mode. Because some of you are in fear, and I understand that. I really do. But remember, these are distractions that's happening. And it's bad. I can see it's bad. But what you can do is you can apply for contracts. Just like how Elon Musk has applied for contracts, you can too. Because it's all about entrepreneurship. You can too. If you've lost your job, or you're feeling that you're at the verge of losing your job, start looking to see what contracts you can apply for, because you will be entitled to. You know, even the most simplest thing like uniforms, winter clothing, or army uniforms, or, you know, army boots, or hats, construction hats, workwear, all of these things that people need, you could supply that as a contract. And like I said, you start off small with, you know, contracts that are like, it could be 100,000, for example. Start with those, and then you get another one. And by the end of the year, you'll probably have about 300,000 or more a year coming in, depending on which contracts you go for. There's so much out there that we're leaving the money on the table for someone else to come and get it. It's not just, if you're in healthcare, it's not just about workforce, not just about nurses, not just about healthcare workers. There's other positions. There's other products and services and equipment that you can apply for as a supplier and apply for contracts. You got to think outside the box now. You got to kind of like pivot and see what you can do, because AI's here, we know this, yeah, but also they're trying to get the robots in, for example, which is not now, but they're here. But in the next 5-10 years, you got to start looking now so that you're ahead of the game. Telemedicine, there's lots of things you can do, but you've got to start planning it now, because Elon Musk is out to get every type of contract that is large, because he's got this, he's probably thinking, I need to be the richest man in the world, so I've got to keep up in my game all the time. That's why he probably never sleeps. He's on hyper mode. And you can look at what contracts that you can apply for that's going to help you in 2025, because it's all a distraction and it is stressful. It's very stressful. but think about what you can do, whether it's AI, what is it that you can do? Look, I've gone into AI automation services. We provide AI automation services. We've got an AI bootcamp coming up this month, for example, where we're showing people about how to implement AI into their business. And also, we help companies to get AI into their business to automate things, not necessarily to replace jobs, but to improve efficiency in the business, because you do need it, especially today, because the prices aren't going up much with contracts that you get. It's not. So you've got to look at how efficient you can be, because you've got inflation, and this is a recession. We might as well say this is a recession. I've been through 3 recessions in my businesses, and it can affect you. See, back then in 2008, when it hit me in my business, I didn't know what to do. Elon Musk, he was on the verge of bankruptcy, but I think someone just helped him out there. But we don't get that help, you see. Listen, I tell you, I've had it where I've had 2 men walk into my business when I had an agency, threatening for me to close down my agency because they wanted my agency. They wanted to buy it off of me, and I said no. And they said, well, if you don't sell it to us, we're going to take over and dominate this location. Well, I was national, actually. We're going to dominate. And then I would say probably within months, the government had to reduce their price. So it wasn't viable for me to offer the price that I was offering, because I had to go by the price that the government gave me in the UK, for example. So why am I saying this to you? Because I don't want you to be in that situation like how I was many years ago in 2008. I want you to think about what can you do now so that the inflation doesn't swallow you up financially. You can look at what contracts you can apply for now. You can look at what savings that you can do now, for example, that's going to help you for when you need that extra money to pay for expenses. Yeah, so if you're in business, these are the things you need to think about, and AI definitely is one of them. If you haven't done so already, you need to do that really now. Start implementing it now into your business so that you can be more effective. I understand the efficiency part that Elon Musk is talking about, but he's gone clear. He's literally gone clear. He's not letting the right people do the efficiency part. It takes time. You got to work through things and do it in stages, and evaluate things properly. Not boom straight away. Like just pull the carpet from under their feet. It's not the way to do it. So we do know what we can do and what we can apply for in contracts, or maybe you don't know. If you want to, there is a link here for you to book a free 15-minute appointment with me, and I can discuss with you whether you're in the UK or whether you're in the USA, for example, what contracts can you look at applying for. You don't have to be experienced in contracting. You can even sell toilet paper. You just got to find the right buyer. You can sell vests, whatever the contract is. You can provide food. There's lots of things that you can do. Religious services, for example. There's contracts in that as well, which I don't believe that Elon Musk will be even interested in that. So think about the things that you can do, which is small, that's not going to be huge, that's not going to take a lot of your energy, because some of you may be working, for example. So what is it that you can do in your business, for example? Because look, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world because he's applied for all of these government contracts. And guess what? It's the government that's made him the richest man in the world. And let's face it, I wonder if there's any backhanders being done here. We don't know, and we'll find out later, I suppose. But the reason why I'm doing this video is for you to look at what type of business, if you do have a business, what type of contracts can you apply for example. Or maybe you're facing, job loss. What is it that you can do, for example? Well, we all know where this is all leading to, and that's AI, isn't it? So, like I said, Elon Musk, he became the richest man, and that, I believe, is through contracting, having government contracts. That made him the richest man in the world. That's why he was able to beat Facebook, Zuckerman, for example, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Microsoft. And then there was the Italian guy, wasn't there? The world's richest man in the world, for example. But Elon Musk, he did it through contracts. That's how he became the world's richest man. And he was strategic, and he still is strategic in what he's doing. And that is, he's just got one given to him, which is about $300 to $400 million, and he's probably applying for the ones that NASA's going to apply for. So I'm here to keep things real as well, and I'm here to say that you can go for these contracts. No matter where you are in the world, you can apply for them. And Elon Musk is traveling around all of these different places around the world with a view to contracts, to see what contracts he can apply for and what he can supply to the world, the leaders, the departments. He can apply for those contracts. So this is how he became the richest man in the world, and he's got that to upkeep every single day, because there could be someone else that's gonna beat him, go past him. So he's on a hyper mode to keep going, and that's why I believe he's in the Oval Office. That's why I believe he's, working with President Trump, so they can look at what contracts they can apply for whilst they're in power. So you can too. You can apply for contracts. There's plenty for everybody. Not saying apply for the ones that Elon Musk is applying for, because it's quite hefty ones. Takes a lot of, proposals and document writing and evidence, for example. But go for the low-hanging fruit one. Go for the low-value contracts. Start one by one, and you'll grow easily. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today. Do book a free 15-minute appointment with me. The link, I'm going to put the link here so that you can see it. because I can talk to you about AI automation in your business, for example. I can talk about whether you're starting AI, for example, because we need to start looking at this now. You know, inflation's here. There's no other way of saying it. Inflation is here, and we need to start combating inflation. So I've just put the link here for you to book an online meeting. And I can go through things with you, see what you're doing and what you need help with, you know, because maybe it's new to you all. I'm going to put some of these references in the description from where I've got the information from as well, because I think it's important for you to see the references and where I've got the information from in this video, for example, this live training today. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. It's nearly been 1 hour, for example, of how Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and he is the richest man in the world by the contracts that he's applied for and gotten. And why should you not apply for contracts that are of lower value? I'm not saying to apply for the ones that he's applied for, because you're not going to get it, for example, because it seems that things are very biased with the contracts that he's applied for, you know, and it's like we don't know that he's won something until he comes out with it, for example, and then we look into it and, oh yes, he did get that contract. So, but like I said, he gets 8 million a day from the US government. Imagine being paid 8 million a day from the US government in contracts. It's massive. The amount of contracts he's got is absolutely massive. But you can also apply for smaller value contracts as well. So this is the reason why I'm doing this training today, doing this live, to really enlighten you and to talk to you about what Elon Musk achieved in order to become the richest man in the world. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's session, and I look forward to talking to you about tomorrow as well, because I'm going to go really deep into these, really deep, and I really want to try and start showing you ways that you can get these contracts as well. Also with AI, because Elon Musk has used a lot of AI to get the contracts that he's got. So let's look at how you can get your organization off the ground, and also let's look at how you can implement AI into your business, for example. And if you don't have a business and you're just starting out, or maybe you want to get a qualification, then I would say definitely AI. All right, so thank you so much, everyone, and I do appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking to you about YouTube, because YouTube really has helped me in my business that I've had, and I'm going to talk to you about my journey with YouTube. I've been on YouTube since 2013. For example, it's been a long time, but I only got monetized last year. I started really November, where I started doing videos more regularly than what I was doing before. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about my YouTube journey tomorrow, and I hope you'll be able to watch that. And I want to share some of the secrets as well, because running a business and using YouTube has really helped me in my business as well. So thank you so much, everyone, and I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. Like I said, the link is here. Book an appointment, a free 15-minute appointment. It's online. For example, you get to see me on Zoom, for example. And also, I'm going to put the links here for the information about Elon Musk so that you can see the history and also the references that I've mentioned in this video today. So thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care. Thank you. Bye.